Okay, well, hey, howdy, and Workman Camp and Dog Workshop. Second test fire on number 47. I'm going to do a little care and feeding on this before we fire it up. Lately, I've had 2 lanterns arrive with the globes broken. I've been shipping them with the same wrapping technique for like 3 years, and I don't know what's happened. UPS is now throwing them against the wall or whatever. So I've changed my shipping protocol. Instead of trying to send everything in one package, I'm shipping the globe separate. When your lantern arrives, the mast will be off of it and it'll just be screwed down. All you gotta do is, see these 2 little tiny bolts, put the mast back on and just tighten them down. That makes for a smaller package, and then the globe is going to be in a separate box, double wrapped, double boxed and double wrapped and all that. So anyway, that's that. Up at the top here, there's 2 set bolts. That controls how far down your shade goes when it's all put together. And this is what we're going to do. I put a preheater cup on them so you don't have to use a torch to light your arc. But if you want, there's 2 lighting ports on either side, and you can stick one of those little, one of these guys in and heat your generator. But I found it just easier to use a preheater cup. So fill it about halfway up with denatured alcohol. Another thing, I get my globes from Craig Seabrook, and he has a small foundry down in Arkansas that makes them. So each one of these is handmade, and the last batch I got, this opening is a little smaller than on originals. Now on an original, your vent cone can be on and you just slip the globe over it. But with this batch, you gotta put your globe on first. And the way you do it, you hold it in 2 hands, set it down on an angle, bring it over the air intake tube, and bring it down. Then put your vent cone on. These are slightly flexible, so you just pooch it a little bit, and it'll just grab onto the intake. Then you put your vent cone on and put the top loop nut on, and there you go, you got yourself an arc lantern. Now, first time or 2 you fire it, you might want to do it with all of this stuff off, just so you get the feel for how to, fire it. Now I'm lighting the preheater. Sometimes that alcohol is kind of a bugger to get going. There we go, it's going. Now what I do for my test, I put about a half a pint in, and I give it 20 pumps of the big pump. But in actual use, and that's what I'd recommend, start out with just a little bit so you know how it works. But once you get the hang of it, you fill that thing up, and with the smaller pump, probably 10 or 12 pumps will be enough pressure in the font. I can't tell if that alcohol is lit or not. Yeah, it's lit. It burns so clear you barely see the flame. There you go. Until it starts to heat up. Now, on these arcs and torchlight, the generator has to be good and hot, so when the fuel gets in, it vaporizes right away. If you don't let it get hot enough, you're going to dump raw fuel in, and you're going to get flames with smoke and all kinds of terrible stuff going on. So just be patient. As I said, fill it about halfway up, maybe a little more, and let it burn, and kind of keep an eye on it. When you see it getting down to the bottom, you can give your control valve just a little bump and then close it. And that's starting to get, okay, we're not hot enough yet. See that smoke? We're not quite hot enough yet. Well, I don't know what that's all about. There we go. I could have put a little more alcohol in there just to heat up the generator. So um, it takes a little while for it to warm up. I'm using Peerless mantles. You can use Coleman 21s in there. And once it starts to warm up, it'll really fluoresce. Peerless mantles take about 15 or 20 minutes to burn in. So if you're using those and you light it and it's not quite as bright as you want, be patient, they'll burn in. So here we go. So I'm going to let this fuel burn out, take it all apart. I'm going to clean up the burner unit so it looks nice and shiny, and then it'll be up to you to make it not look shiny after you fire it. There you go. I'll send written lighting instructions too. So thank you. I appreciate you being patient on this, particularly since it took me longer to get this going than I told you it was gonna. But raising grandkids, there's always some crazy hospital issue or something like that. So anyway, there we go. You have a good week. Bye.